I want to read you my favorite chapter of Chop Wood, Carry Water. This chapter pumps me up, and it is something that I think every single person should read. I'm going to try to read it fast so you're not sitting here like a kindergarten class forever. As years passed, John kept training with focus and perseverance in cold, warm weather. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, actually. One day at dusk, just as the sun was setting, John was finishing up his shooting when Akira approached, watching his apprentice with great pride. As John finished his shooting, he and Akira walked back to the dining hall. As they did, Akira said, "John, you are very close to finishing your training now. You will graduate as a samurai archer soon, and then you will dive back into the world. Before you do, there is something I must share with you." "And what is that?" Akira sensei asked John. "I want you to know that when you get back into the world, you will face a unique challenge. You will face the challenge of they." John just blinked, being curious. Who are they? "John, we come out of the womb creating and exploring, but then we start school and we are told to sit down, shut up, and get in line. We are told to behave and to color inside the lines. We are told to dream sensibly and be realistic. You want to know who they are? They are the ones saying all of this. And if you don't obey, if you don't do what they say, they call you disobedient, unassimilated, disturbed, or they diagnose you with ADHD. Then they drug you, all to get you to fit into their nice little box. They called a coach named John Wooden crazy when he tried to run press for the entire game. They also thought it was crazy he didn't scout opponents. Rather, he chose to focus on letting the other team worry about stopping his team. The board at Apple ran Steve Jobs out of the company, calling him crazy and reckless. 12 years later, months away from bankruptcy, they came crawling back, begging to him to come back and save them. He took Apple from the fringes of bankruptcy to one of the most successful and innovative companies of all time. They wanted to have the man committed who came up with the idea of television. They thought the idea of 24-hour sports network was stupid and could never work. They called Nelson Mandela a terrorist, and they called Jackie Robinson much worse. Rest assured, they will call you all sorts of names. They will throw down the gauntlet in front of you. They will do everything they can to keep you inside their safe container. If you put one crab in a bucket, it will crawl out. If you put multiple crabs in a bucket, they'll pull each other down every time one starts to crawl out. If a crab continues to try and crawl out of the bucket, the other crabs will break its legs. Unfortunately, John, we live in a society of crabs. But we weren't created to sit still and learn the right answers. We were created to explore, create, to love, and to learn. Be courageous and never listen to they. Once you break out, they will call you a genius and tell everyone how talented you are. Then they will try to neatly sweep all of your years of sweat, turmoil, and uncommon persistence under the rug. Why? Because it is so much more comfortable to believe talent is reserved for the chosen few than it is to work your ever-loving butt off to become the best you are capable of being. And most importantly, please don't try and teach your friends and family the lessons you learned here. "But that doesn't make any sense," said John. "John, you must understand the importance of context. There will be people who ask you for your wisdom, but you must never cross boundaries without an invitation. A wise man once said, the difference between a pest and a guest is an invitation. You have gained so much wisdom while you are here, but most people won't be interested in learning or changing. It is very sad, but you need to be prepared for what you are walking into. If I were the best heart surgeon in the world and my best friend had a heart problem that I could fix, does that give me the permission to do the surgery on him?" John was puzzled, but eventually said, "I guess not." "Exactly. I would still need permission to perform heart surgery, even though you are equipped with life-changing wisdom and could transform lives. You must not share it without an invitation. Most people want to be heard and loved. They don't want your wisdom, and that is okay. Sometimes you actually become the greatest impediment to others people growing when you try and force things on them. In time, if you see them model it, they will probably start to ask you questions. I have never seen this ancient wisdom fail to come true. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. But I'll share something with you I have never shared with you before. I don't ask your permission to share wisdom with you because of the nature and context of our relationship. However, with my friends and family, I always ask, would you like my opinion, or do you just need to be heard and want me to listen? Sometimes this annoys them just because I could help. I must try to make sure they need it, want it, and give me their permission. Trust me, John, disregard this advice at your own peril. We get letters from former apprentices all the time, and this is the biggest challenge they face when they reassemble back into the real world," said Akira. Thank you, Akira Sensei. I will do my best to be a guest and never a pest. So, real world, they. Avoid them. Don't take what they say and don't take it to heart. Do what you want. Go after what you want. Work your freaking butt off. And if you don't fit into their box, so what? Tell them to get lost, get gone, and just keep working. You're made for more.